In today's episode of All the Mods 10 to the Sky, we get automatic cobblestone and we also happen to get automatic lava. With that being said, let's get into today's episode. All right, to get started in our world here, what we're gonna go ahead and do is type in /skyblock GUI, and then we're gonna go ahead and hit enter here. We're gonna go ahead and create a new team. And in this mod pack, we have many different types of worlds that we can select from. So for example, the Witch Cottage, the default Skyblock, the Sanguine Sanctuary, Steve's Staycation, Piggy, and A Simple Life. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Piggy one because I feel like everyone is gonna do the Steve Staycation. So we're gonna go ahead and go with Piggy. So let's go ahead and get that started, and we should go ahead and spawn on top of a massive, and I mean a massive pig, which is going to be really fun to build on. But to go ahead and get started, what we're going to go ahead and do is immediately go ahead and punch down our trees and hopefully get a bunch of wood. Also, I should probably figure out if this mod pack has ulti-mine, because that would be really helpful right now. And typically I usually go through the configs to find that, but yeah, because I don't have a grave key, unfortunately, so that means I have to kind of configure that every time. I'm going to go ahead and break all of these down so we can go ahead and get all of the seeds that we need, for example hemp seeds and all that fun stuff. But let's go ahead and break this down. Now you might be asking yourself, how do you get cobblestone? Well, to get cobblestone in this mod pack, what you can go ahead and do is hold shift and press right click on the ground, and it's going to go ahead and give you a bunch of pebbles. Now do note, if you do have a mouse that does macros also do work as well, so you can get a ton of cobblestone in mere seconds. Yes, I know, it's insane. Okay, now that we've got a bunch of stone pebbles, I believe if we hit shift and K, we can quickly combine all this stuff together, which is really nice added touch to go ahead and quickly combine all these pebbles together. Now that that's all done, let's go ahead and plant down some more saplings, because we are going to need a ton of wood for the next quest that it wants us to do, which is to go ahead and get some string. Also, this mod pack doesn't have the disable phantom command, so we are going to want a bed, because I really don't want to deal with phantoms. But to get that bed, what we're gonna have to go ahead and do is get ourselves down here for the free available crafting table that's already down here, as well as the furnace, and we've got a chest as well. But what we're gonna go ahead and do is take some of our wood like so and craft them into sticks, and then that stick is gonna get converted into a crook, and then this crook we're gonna go ahead and take, and what we're gonna go ahead and do is vein mine all these leaves, and we should get some silkworms, which we're gonna go ahead and do once we get another set of trees planted. And that silkworm is then gonna go ahead and turn into, you guessed it, string. Something that I recommend you get right away in your world is a oak crucible, because you're gonna want water almost immediately here, because we're gonna want to go ahead and start a farm, because, well, we only get 16 of these steaks at the start here from the quest book, and we really don't want to kind of starve to death. Now I'm not sure if this mod pack has the forgiving void. I guess I'm gonna have to kind of test that, but what we can go ahead and do is place down these oak crucibles, take some of our saplings, make sure that you don't use all of your saplings, and go ahead and place these in here like so. Also, make sure that you plant them down separately from your silkworms. If you use it on your silkworms, the silkworms will not give you saplings back, unfortunately, so make sure that you also keep those very separate from each other. Once your tree is fully infested, go ahead and vein mine that like so. You are going to get some silkworms back as well, which is actually really cool. Usually it doesn't do that, I'm pretty sure, but it does it in this mod pack, so that's all that really matters, because you are currently playing this mod pack, right? So let's go ahead and break these down, and more importantly, let's go ahead and get ourselves set up with a few extra things. So for one, we're gonna definitely want a bed, because again, those pesky little phantoms don't want to get attacked by them. But also, let's go ahead and break down some of that cobblestone that we've got to go ahead and make ourselves some dust. And we're also going to want to go ahead and make ourselves a clay bucket. And it doesn't look like we can get water in a clay bucket. That's brutal. But don't worry, there is another way that we can go ahead and get a bucket. So we're going to have to go a little bit long way here. And what we're going to go ahead and do is take our cobblestone, right? and we're gonna break it down into gravel like so. And then what we're gonna go ahead and do is sieve it through the sieve. We are gonna need a little bit more wood. We're out of wood. There we go. And let's turn this into a sieve like so. And then I believe we're gonna start off with a string mesh like so. And we're gonna go ahead and place this down. Place the string mesh inside of here like so. And go ahead and sieve your gravel. Now we can look at this and see where we get iron from. And I believe it might be flint tier mesh. So if we look at the meshes real quick and we press U on them, it should tell us everything that we get from said meshes. So it looks like we need for iron, I can't really see, there we go, crushed iron comes from crushed deep slate, and gravel also gives it to us with the flint mesh. It does look like we can get iron from the string mesh. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is basically sieve down a bunch of gravel to go ahead and get some iron to go ahead and move that water that we just made, which it does look like it's done already. Beautiful. Pro tip, I just figured out that you can go ahead and compress down cobblestone and craft yourself compressed hammers to go ahead and break down compressed cobblestone and gravel and dust and stuff in the 9x variant, so you can get stuff way faster. Okay, so to be honest here, this is really slow. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is take some of my wood here and convert it into slabs, and we're gonna go ahead and make sure that we make a couple more of these sieves, and we can do that by just taking some wood. And honestly, we didn't get a lot of string from our silkworms, which is not ideal because I can only make 2 more of these. But what I can go ahead and do is take these now and make some more sieves, and then those sieves can go ahead and get converted over here like so. So like here and here, and we can put these guys in here like so and so, and we should in theory be able to do 3 at a time now, which is gonna really speed up our sieving here. Now that we have a ton of string, what we can go ahead and do is immediately make a bed, because I believe it's already been like 3 nights, and that's not good. That means phantoms might start coming attacking me, which would not be fun at all. Okay, now that we've got that, what we're gonna go ahead and do is take care of getting ourselves a cobble gen. And cobble gens unfortunately work a little bit different in this mod pack. Now you can use the standard place your lava and water bucket down in the world, and of course it starts raining, but there is a nifty little new generator that I do want to check out for this mod pack. But for us to go ahead and do that, what we're gonna need is some iron, and a lot of it. Now we do have quite a bit of iron chunks in here. What we can do is take these and combine them together like so, and make a bunch of iron like so. Now we can make the ore chunk hammer if we can afford it, but right now we really can't afford to make that right now. We can take the ore chunk hammer, I believe, and crush down our ores to go ahead and double them, but we can't unfortunately afford this right now as it's quite expensive. So for now, what we're gonna go ahead and do is take some of our ore like so, and I guess if we want to save a little bit on our coal, is take some planks and use our planks to go ahead and cook our ore. With our iron acquired, what we're gonna go ahead and do is make 2 buckets like so, and the first thing that I'm gonna do is immediately move our buckets out of this oak crucible and make myself a quick and dirty infinite water source. Now this shouldn't be too difficult at all. All you gotta do is dig out 4 blocks like so, and I believe we have cork in this pack, and we should be able to do this sort of action, assuming it lets me do it downwards like so. And now we should be able to go ahead and make ourselves a infinite water source. So that's step 1 of making this cobble gen. But we are gonna need to go ahead and make some lava, which is not as straightforward. So lava needs to go ahead and be made, I believe, in the crucible. So we're gonna need this porcelain crucible. Porcelain crucible is gonna be unfired crucible, and then we're gonna need this porcelain clay, which is gonna need bone meal and clay. Clay is actually really simple, surprisingly. All we need to do is grab some wood like so, and what we're gonna do is see if we have any extra slabs. We do not. Actually, yes we do. If I had just looked, I would have seen it. There we go. And make ourselves this oak barrel. Now this oak barrel is going to be very important. Do note that we don't need these oak crucibles anymore, so we can go ahead and take those down. And all we gotta do is get ourselves ourselves some compressed cobblestone and take this and break this down multiple times, because we're going to want to go ahead and make sand, and we can do that by making the compressed gravel, and then that compressed gravel will then go ahead and break down into compressed sand like so. We're going to take some of that and keep it, and then what we'll go ahead and do is break this down, and then that should make us ourselves some dust like so. And then this water that we just made will be used to go ahead and make ourselves the clay. Now, what's also really important is that we use some of this dust to go ahead and sift it, because that is going to go ahead and get us the bone meal that we need for making the crucible. What we're going to do next is we're going to take our clay and combine it with the bone meal to make the porcelain and clay like so, turn it into the crucible like so, and then we're going to go ahead and fire this bad boy up like so. Now, I believe torches can be used as a way of heating the crucible, so all we have to do is place down a torch. Now, I want it to be on the same sort of level as my stuff here, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is try to get this to place down. I don't think it's going to work the way I want it to, unfortunately, so what I'm going to have to do is place a bucket like so, and then place down, I guess, any sort of block. It doesn't really matter as long as it's going to go ahead and allow me to place down another block underneath it, so I can do something like that. And we can place down, I guess, a piece of cobblestone. You know what? Actually, let's use the pink terracotta that I accidentally broke like so, and then place the torch inside the hole like so. And then this guy should be able to come over here like so and place it right here. So it's 1x, perfect. And then all we gotta do is melt down some sort of cobblestone, and we should be good to go here. This is gonna take a while because it's gonna do 1 mill bucket a tick, so we've got to wait about 1,000 ticks, which is about a few minutes. Okay, our lava is finally done, so we can take that and pick that up. We got our water like so. I did cook up some sand in between while I was waiting for that, and I think we just need some cobblestone. So if we look at the cobble galore mod here, this is the one that we're looking for right now, the stone generator. Nope, it just needs cobblestone like so. Now we are actually gonna need a second bucket of lava here. I did totally forget about that, but that's fine. We can go ahead and get that cooked up, and while we're waiting for that, I kind of want to upgrade this a little bit. So we just need 6 more iron and some copper, and you know what, some gold might be good as well, but I think gold is going to be a little bit tricky to get here. So where is the thing that I'm looking for here? I do not see the gold cluster. All right, our lava is done, the water is done. Let's go ahead and get all the copper here. I cooked up some copper, some iron, and some gold because I actually do want to upgrade this because it is quite slow to start with. Oh, I need a bucket for each. Oh, I did not see that, so I might be making 2 more buckets here. But I also went ahead and made a little platform. So the way this thing works is, I need a pickaxe. The way it works is you have to place down a bucket of water and lava next to it, and it's kind of like the thermal one, but it's not like the thermal one. It's kind of different, right? So let's go ahead and grab ourselves my pickaxe, and we're gonna need a drawer as well, so let's actually prep that while we're waiting for 2 more buckets. Alrighty, so we can go ahead and upgrade this to the gold tier like so, and then I have thankfully not forgotten that we still need water and we still need cobblestone. So there we go, grab that, and let's go ahead and come up here, and we do have that drawer on the ready, and all we have to do is break this down like so and like so, and we're gonna go ahead and put down our drawer like so. Go ahead and place down the gold generator like so, and then we're gonna go ahead and place down a cobblestone here, here, and here, 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 and here, and we're gonna place down the lava on the right and the water on the left like so. And as you can see, it's got a nice big old cobblestone square in the middle, and this should now be generating cobblestone. Aha, I figured it out. So it has to be on the top side of the block. Okay, so that means what we can do is do away with with all this junk that we have, and I can actually take this and shove it down here like so, and then put the drawer on top. And then what we can do is hopefully break this now and break this like so, and we can totally put the lava and the water like so, and then that's gonna go ahead and generate us cobblestone infinitely forever, which is really nice. But also these generators can be used to make all sorts of stuff like glowstone, diorite, basalt. It can be used to make netherrack, obsidian. Yeah, there's literally a ton of things it can be used for. If you want to make your life easier, you can totally take some cobblestone and some redstone and a little bit of iron, and you can totally make a compacting drawer here, which is gonna make your life 10 times easier in this mod pack, because as you know, you can break down compressed cobblestone into the other compact versions of like sand, dust, and gravel. So it's actually really cool that we can actually do this. I think it's gonna be relatively cheap, just gonna require 2 pistons like so. We are gonna need, however, to make another drawer, which is actually relatively cheap, just some planks and a chest like so, and then that's gonna go ahead and get us a drawer. And we're just gonna need some stone, which we can go ahead and cook up inside of our furnace like so. Honestly, this cobblestone is gonna be a game changer for getting things going up very quickly, actually, because we're gonna be able to go ahead and craft up all that compressed gravel relatively quickly to go ahead and get the, you know, things sifting and all that fun stuff. And just like that, we should be able to go ahead and make ourselves a compacting drawer like so. And then we're going to take that compacting drawer and put it on top of our cobblestone generator. Now, I didn't double confirm that this works, but I'm going to send it anyways. And let's put this on top of here like so. And it does not look to be working. Actually, it is working. It just needed a little bit of filtering. So I was looking at things to do, and I was thinking that we should probably get infinite lava sooner than later. And there's a way to do that relatively easily, actually. If we look at the extractor from Zycraft, which is made by Soren, we can go ahead and look at this. And also, this is very cheap to have. We have Kiwi. The item port just needs a little bit of gold. We can make pistons. We have the pointed dripstone, and we also have aluminum cooking. But we can go ahead and use this to go ahead and extract out lava from dripstone, which is really cool. It's 5 millibuckets, I believe, every tick, or I don't really know how that works. Sorry. Yeah, every 0.5 seconds, we get about 5 millibuckets, which is not terrible considering that is very cheap to set up. I am going to, however, have to make some more iron potentially, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. So if we grab the extractor real quick, we can make a quick and dirty piston as soon as we get some cobblestone like so. And there we go. Let's make one of those pistons. We are going to need a chest, of course, and then we're going to need to make some golden nuggets like so. And then that should be relatively simple. All we got to do is make this item port like so. And then now that we have that bad boy, all we need is the pointed dripstone and the Kiwi, which I know we have because I got it from sifting. The next thing that we need, I believe, is just the aluminum ingots, which we have cooked up, and we should be good to go as soon as I grab a pointed dripstone like so. And boom, there you go. There is your extractor. Let's also go ahead and grab 4 of these bad boys like so, and we should be good to go. And also do note that I believe we don't even have to make another bucket of lava because, well, I'll show you in a second, as soon as I also not forget to go ahead and make ourselves a tank for a mechanism, which is actually relatively cheap, just a basic fluid tank with some iron and some redstone, and then that should be good. And I believe, hell, we might even be able to upgrade this to the tier 2. Nah, we can't do it just yet because we don't have access to infused alloys. A tier 1 tank should be pretty much good enough for our needs right now. All we have to do is, since we already got lava right here, place that down and then go ahead and place down the dripstone like so. And then we're gonna go ahead and place down the extractor on top of that like so. And then all we have to do is simply put that on top like so. That should start to go ahead and extract out the lava from underneath. Is it the other way around potentially? I don't think so, but I mean, I could be wrong here. So if I put, let's say, the tank down here and we put the lava on the top bit, is that how it's meant to be done? So if I say put a block of dripstone like so, and then let's also make sure that we get this nice and set up so it doesn't spill everywhere. I don't think that's how that's meant to be, but I could be wrong here. So if I just quickly build myself up here, break this, and then place this on top, and then maybe somehow like place this underneath. It's a bit confusing on how this is supposed to work. Maybe I place it like that. There you go. So that's how you do it. And yeah, there we go. We are now generating lava infinitely for free, essentially. Doesn't need any power, which is really, really overpowered. That aside, unfortunately, guys, it is time to wrap up today's episode of All the Mods 10 to the Sky. With that being said, if you guys did enjoy today's episode, please do me a huge favor. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, ding dong that notification bell, become a part of the Council of Elder. As always, guys, thanks for watching today. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna leave you till next time. We're hopefully gonna be setting up a nice little farm and maybe getting into some auto sifting.